Friends, welcome to this important discussion, the Mind and Intellect conversations, whereby if you listen to this topic, which is intellect versus intelligence, the difference between intellect and intelligence, I can assure you over 90% of the mundane problems each one of us face can be sorted out. We are predominantly suffering in ignorance. If there is a pattern to your suffering, there's a pattern to your thinking. So if you want to rise above suffering, you got to rise above the pattern of thinking you have employed. So this podcast discussion, Mind and Intellect conversations on intellect versus intelligence, is focused on quality of thinking. What is your intellect? What is your intelligence? And how do we deal with ourselves in the right ways? As a result, problems is there. Sufferings we could go through. We keep highlighting suffering is inevitable. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. So, friends, let us live life beautifully. Let us understand the difference between intelligence and intellect and use it in the right way. And as a result, you will find you are happy not because of something. You're happy in spite of everything.
Vinit Rughani embodies the rare fusion of athleticism and financial prowess. A former state-level hockey player and university soccer enthusiast, Vinit seamlessly integrated his passion for sports with his financial acumen. As a chartered accountant, company secretary, and certified financial planner, he delved into the world of derivative strategy while nurturing his entrepreneurial spirit. His journey led to the inception of sports and education ventures, which have since burgeoned into the globally renowned Brits Imperial Education Group, with operations across continents. Notably, Vinit serves as South Asia's sole FIFA-licensed match agent, orchestrating exposure tours and tournaments for esteemed football teams across Asia, including Japan, Indonesia, UAE, and India.
Friends, welcome to Mind and Intellect Conversations. The beautiful topic today is intellect versus intelligence. And we have a fabulous guest which absolutely fits into this topic. This is Vinit, our good friend and a part of our community, Mr. Vinit. He's one of the most intelligent person I have met in my life. By the time he could turn 21, he not only, most people do only undergrad and one particular postgrad in case, but he has done not just BCom, he has done his chartered accountancy, CPA, and company secretaryship. Those, courses which people take years to complete, he has done it in a span of 4 years' time, 5 years' time. And all that I'm saying is intelligence personified. So we couldn't get a better guest for this topic than Mr. Vinit. And you're going to learn immensely about this particular crucial topic or a part of a life which most people are ignorant. And they're not just ignorant. Number one, a lot of ignorance. Number two, there's a lot of confusion about it. Intellect and intelligence. We are trying to debunk the entire misunderstanding, bring about clarity in this aspect, and as a result, genuinely, there is a wonderful combination of intelligence and intellect. Not merely intelligence. So, you're going to learn immensely. Thank you, Vinit. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And a short notice, thank you for joining us.
Thanks a lot, sir. It's my pleasure, Sreedharanji, for inviting me. And thanks for the generous introduction also that you had given. It's a real pleasure. I've known you since now last many months, and it's a real pleasure learning from you. You might have told that I'm educated or intelligent in that manner, but I'm looking forward to this, to asking you a lot of questions, because in today's time, when knowledge has a very short shelf life,
Right.
it's important that we evolve on a longer basis, and the kind of points or the kind of questions that are there are more from an overall perspective. So thanks a lot for having me, and it's a real pleasure.
Thank you, G.
Yes. So I will start, sir,
Right.
from my first question. Let's kind of get to the basics.
Right.
What is intelligence?
What is intelligence? See, even before that, I want to know let's define thinking, then get into intelligence, that's the focus here. See, thinking, it is, according to all these great masters, they say it's a privilege. It's a blessing bestowed by nature, by divinity to all human beings. It's a blessing. Those who understand thinking as a blessing can use it properly. And in this process of thinking, there are two elements to it. One is what we call as purushartha. Each individual is gifted with a quality called self-effort in English. Self-effort is the potential to think. That's the English word. The Sanskrit word is purushartha. Purusha means being, artha means meaning. The meaning to a being is derived through the potential of thinking. So number one, see, this is one, and the second aspect to it is buddhi, intellect. Intellect is the equipment with which you think. The sharira is the physical body, manas is your mind, buddhi is your intellect. That's, you're using the intellect. It's like electricity and a gadget. There's an electricity there, plus there's a gadget. See, what is the point in having a gadget without electricity? Therefore purushartha, self-effort is the potential, and intellect is the equipment, a source with which we are able to think. So that's why they say it is intellect, or the buddhi is your faculty of learning, reasoning, understanding, analyzing, logic, coming to confirmed choices, refined thinking. So that is the intellect. So that's why all these great masters, they highlighted, to be born as a human being is one of the greatest blessing. 9 out of 10 don't even think to be born as a human being is a great blessing. Why? The potential of thinking. See, all other creatures are born with a set pattern of life. They live along according to that set pattern, and they perish along with it. Example, tigers are ferocious. Maybe in Thailand you will find some people, monks, feeding milk, but they're all little ones. By design, all tigers are ferocious, all lions are ferocious, and by design, cows are meek and mild. If you go to Varanasi, there are cows sitting in the middle of a shop, in a textile shop. They're meek and mild. By design, they are like that. So they all have a set pattern of life. They live up to that pattern, and they perish to that pattern. They cannot change that pattern. You will never, seldom you will find a lion which is very compassionate. Maybe to its own cubs, not to others. So, seldom you will see a cow which is very, very ferocious. It doesn't happen, because that's their nature. They exist, they live within their nature and perish with their nature. But that's not the case with the human being, and you're seeing it. People can be most beneficial, or they can be most destructive. The human being has that extreme. Either you can go this way or the other way because of the quality of thinking. That's why that's why we wanted to define thinking first, then get into intelligence, which is the focus of discussion. Another aspect is, most people think, they take thinking for granted, like seeing, hearing, or breathing. Thinking, that's why I say, to think precisely, properly, constructively, you need to put in that effort. I don't need to tell you, So my guru used to emphasize that thinking is an art, a skill, a technique. You got to learn and practice it, like playing golf, violin, or flying an aircraft. You got to learn it and practice it. See, that's why we keep telling you got to spend time, effort, energy in it to develop this faculty of thinking. So, that's why they say thinking is skilled work. Just because a person has lived 30, 40 years doesn't mean that they know how to think. It is how well they made choices, how well they dealt with the fluctuations. So, therefore, thinking is essential. And yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
You have a question.
Yeah. So now you've very well elaborated, on the thinking portion of it. But when to a normal layman, when you look at it, mind and intellect, everyone confuses it.
Correct.
And it's the same thing.
Correct.
That's but I'm sure So if you can highlight what is the difference between the mind and intellect.
Correct.
At a more deeper level as well.
Yes.
Because when before I started attending Vedanta classes, my understanding was intelligence, intellect, all mind, all of it was the same.
Correct.
But there is a definition, a differentiation clearly, which you, if you could elaborate on, highlight on that.
Yes, great question. Sharira is the physical body. Manas is the mind. Mind is the source or the seat of your feelings, emotions, good and bad. Feeling of gratitude, emotion of forgiveness, that feeling of love, or all these positive compassion, or the negative anger, fear, jealousy. The source is your mind. It is. And there are people who say when they are very angry, I want to give a piece of my mind. See, the emotions, feelings arise from your mind. There are impulses. Somebody provokes you, an impulse comes in. How dare they talk to me that way? Or you go to a sweet shop. You see a line of jalebis. An impulse comes in. I think I should buy half a kilo and go. Impulse. And other one is likes and dislikes. Each one of us. The other aspect of the mind is likes and dislikes. You like waking up in the morning. You like, I'm sure if you're given a book, you can spend a few hours on the book. And there are dislikes. You may dislike Karela, bitter gourd. Or, you may dislike traffic jams. See, each one of us, our mind produces these things. Likes and dislikes, impulses, feelings, emotions. This is your mind, my mind, everybody's mind. So, at times, the mind is a beautiful equipment and instrument, provided how you use it. We say, a knife is an essential instrument in the kitchen. If a person kills 10 people and says, why did you do it? I had some 10 knives in the house, hardly used. I tried it on the guest. It works perfectly well. You can't blame the knife. Similarly, you can't blame the mind. That's the nature of the mind. The mind goes to the past worries, future anxieties. The mind. Anyone who is a victim of their mind finds it very difficult to concentrate. That's the reason even at work, something you want to focus on properly, you will go to a conference room. You will tell them, say, no calls for the next 40 minutes. It's because the mind, one call may disturb you. One message may alter your thought process. So the nature of the mind is to go into the past worries or the future anxieties. And that's the reason, especially in the critical management thinking, intellect is essential. Intellect is the seat of your reasoning, understanding, analysis, logic, refined choices. All these arises from the intellect. And intellect, I'll explain how to develop the intellect, but this is the intellect. Intellect needs much more effort. To develop intellect needs effort. To be a victim of the mind, no effort. To get angry, what effort you need? One traffic jam, somebody talking loud, or a little less sugar in your coffee is easy to provoke. But to control your anger, to be calm in the midst of chaos, that requires effort. That's the reason intellect is predominantly, something to be developed. It's like a muscle, something to be developed. And all the scriptures highlight the emphasis of intellect. All scriptures, without doubt, emphasizes on the intellect. Now, the next is the intelligence, which is what the world abounds with. Intelligence is gained from an external source. Through books, through universities, through schools, you gain that intelligence. You become well informed in one or more subjects. Could be accountancy, could be medicine, could be engineering, could be computers. The intelligence is pertaining to a particular field of activity which you gain through an external source. That's you run institutions and education. You are helping people gain intelligence, which is wonderful. See, the interesting part is you need an intellect to gain intelligence. See, it's like to focus, to be there. You need some level of intellect to be present in the moment, to listen to the professor, to imbibe, to understand. You need a little bit of intellect. So with that, what we gain is your proficiency in a field of activity. It could be it could be engineering, accountancy, medicine, banking. Any could be skill development. That is one aspect. So which is important. Nobody can refute the relevance of it in the modern day life. But what we are saying is that alone is not important. That alone is not enough.
Yes.
It is. There's a statement: "Fools build houses, wise live in them." It's like the home and the house is different. So you need intellect, which is developed through values, priorities, and you also need intelligence. See, when the intellect is not developed properly, the danger which happens is you have intelligence in a field of activity, plus you're also using the mind in other roles of your life. It could be a role of a partner, or a role of a parent, and you may use the mind. And as I mentioned, when you use your intelligence, you are able to develop your standard of living. You get a job or a business, you make money, your standard of living keeps enhancing all the time. But the quality of living may take a beating. I'm not saying anyone, but there is a general dilemma. You find that most of the successful people, monetarily successful, may not be that happy. Yeah. And there is also some people who are generally peaceful, but they are not successful. Intelligence is not there. You need this beautiful combination of intellect and intelligence. So when intelligence alone is developed, and you are using your intelligence in the field of activity, and you are using your mind in other roles of your life, therefore that combination, mind and intelligence, can create a devastating entity called ego. You know who you're talking to? You are very intelligent, very successful, and the mind and your intelligence together creates this dangerous entity called ego.
What is ego? If you were to kind of elaborate on that.
See, ego is the need and necessity to prove that I am better than others. And ego, another aspect is your self-importance.
False
Yes.
notion of being something which
Correct. See, in a way, ego is like if meet a person, some of them are not really they don't know that they're egoistic. When you talk to them, it's their family, their holidays, their hobbies. What about the other person? It's about me, mine and myself all the time. In our classroom, we have defined the word ego, exaggerated, E, G, glorification, G, of oneself, O. EGO is exaggerated glorification of oneself. That's ego. Their happiness is exaggerated, suffering is exaggerated, pain is exaggerated. I'm saying an egoistic person is that. An exaggerated glorification of oneself. They glorify anything and everything, good and bad. So, we are a combination of all this. Sharira, body, mind, manas, intellect, buddhi, intelligence, which is your proficiency in a field of activity, and ego. Ahankar. The Sanskrit is ahankar. So this is what we are. So the entire, the spiritual discussion, now we keep highlighting the three fingers represents body, mind and intellect. The forefinger represents ego. The parents sometimes tell the child, don't talk to me that way. When you do that, there's a strength in this. If nobody says, don't talk to me this way, you may laugh. I say, what are you? The finger. The forefinger representing ego. Very strong. The thumb represents divinity. Wow. Thumb represents divinity. That's the reason it's completely separate. They say when something happens to the thumb, the four fingers are not that helpful. Thumb is more. It is. That's why when you say, "Are you there?" Thumbs up. Yes, I'm there. Thumb represents divinity. So the entire spiritual journey or individual self-discovery is you use your body, mind and intellect properly in taming your intelligence. You use your intelligence, but you don't allow the intelligence to become ego, to make you egoistic. So when you use your body, mind, intellect and intelligence properly, you are able to bend your ego. You're not allowing the ego to be prominent. You're able to bend that ego, and as a result, that individuality, joins with the divinity. See, there is a circle. There is no beginning and end. You get to that state of nirvana or moksha or infinite being. There is no beginning and end. There is no birth. There is no more birth and death. So, Sharira, Manas and Buddhi, along with your intelligence, use it properly. You are able to reduce your ego and then eventually eradicate the ego, and as a result, that's why we say, as you understand, being born as a human being is a monumental blessing. Yes. Otherwise, we're just another statistical entity. We were born, we existed, and we perish. True. So that's what it is. That's the reason we are, through our podcast, we are trying to create an awareness or maybe educate people that look here, intelligence is important. We are not ruling out. But don't miss out on developing your intellect. It is, there's the scientist who developed a surgical instrument, a military instrument. And he said it was his intelligence. His intelligence developed that instrument. It's a weapon of mass, like a destruction. And his intelligence developed it, but his intellect says never use it. The intelligence developed it, but the intellect says don't use it. So, therefore, intellect is essential. And I have a question to you. I hope I answered your question. You have worked on yourself so well, and I'm so happy that when people struggle with one professional course, you went piling up as if it's the easiest thing. What made you do that? What was the inspiration? What was the process involved? And at the same time, I find there is a lot of intellect in you. So, now getting into the intelligence, what made you pile up 4-5 professional courses as if it is like, one evening you went and picked up the knowledge? Can you share because very few people would have done that. And if you can share what made you do it, how you did it, and what is it you want to share about it?
So I think firstly, I'm enamored to the points that you were, kind of making on mind, intellect, intelligence, and which was coming to ego. I have a few questions still,
Right.
but to just kind of put into perspective to the points that you were saying. Yes, education at a time when myself and my best friend, we were into doing all these things, and it was more out of scarcity, to be honest.
Right.
Scarcity, and that phase was ambition mixed with scarcity. Ambition was want to do something at that age, especially in your late teens or early 20s. For people who come from a lot of scarcity, have not seen much.
Right.
So there was always that ambition, and because of that ambition or hunger, was wanting to do more and more. And we were fortunate that we were in the midst of friends who were, equally kind of focused and wanting to do something in life. And because we didn't have the luxuries of money to kind of enjoy on other things,
Right.
which always was the focus, was to kind of get better at things. How do we improve? How do we succeed? I don't know, success was a very different definition that time to what it would be now, but it was, how do you become successful? And the only way we could look at it is, and I remember somebody telling me, who was my senior in my college, and he had told me, after 12th, if the 5 years, if you focus and work hard, your next 50 years are going to become much better. And I took that up,
Very seriously.
very seriously. And I kept on doing multiple things. But now, because when we run an education institution, we realize that it is not much of what we've achieved. It's what we've overcome. And we see a lot of students of our own who are studying with us, and they've overcome a lot of challenges. And that is, in a way, gives you humility.
Correct.
And the intellect part of it. When you say, and obviously I feel intellect, the way you've defined it, also comes through your circumstances and how you respond to those.
Correct.
How you
Correct.
react and how you learn.
Correct.
As in evolve, let's say, around it. So the hardships, the circumstances have made us more humble, and hopefully made us, has given us more intellect, is what my
Correct.
hope is. And coming back to, sir, one of the points that I had, and there is a difference when you are saying ego, which is ego. There is a very thin line, I would feel, between ego and self-confidence, and especially in the physical, professional field of athletes. They use ego or self-confidence as a
Correct.
tool to get
Correct.
better.
Correct.
Which is also, so again,
No, you're right. See, what they use is self-confidence, not self-importance. The self-confidence is, I have that potential and I want to contribute. It is the self-importance is, I alone will do it. It is, see, self-importance, you are not willing to learn. Self-confidence, you are only, not only willing to learn, you are improving your process. So you're right, athletes, entrepreneurs, it is students. That self-confidence is very important. But self-importance, see, something, they didn't perform. They go through a shell. It is, I don't think I'm good enough. They get into that shell and suffer from it. That is self-importance. See, it's easily, you can use it other way, but self-esteem. It is, that's what I'm saying. Self-esteem, if you have more of self-esteem, it's different, but it's a thin line of difference. There's self-esteem and self-importance.
Yes. Well, makes sense. And so when you say intellect and intelligence, because intellect is, let's say, reflection of what is happening, what the mind is experiencing.
Right.
And how you are, I'd say, reacting, but, responding to it, let's say.
Right.
And so if you can highlight the difference between, so intelligence is in a way where we are saying we are taking from external sources knowledge, and intellect is, again, if you can elaborate on the difference, because again, here also there is a very thin line where people normally, intellect and intelligence is one and the same.
Correct,
if you ask
correct.
anyone. It seems to them, yes.
Yeah, before that,
Yes.
can you share
Yes, sir.
your 4 years of that, whatever you learned, or the professional courses you have completed?
Yes.
With your ranking, if there was.
Yes, sir.
Can you share with us? We are very proud of you in that way.
Yes, yeah. So again, so CA is what we had done, Chartered Accountancy back in India. Then there was Company Secretary, CS as it is called. There is something called a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. So the CS and the CFP we were fortunate to complete before our bachelor's, before our undergraduate, almost like 20 years, not even around. And then there is a CFA, which is a US one as well, for the level 2 that we. So these were the qualifications that we were doing. Again, we were fortunate that we had all India ranks in CA and CS both. But it's more to do when you come. Those 4 years were one part, which was a lot of discipline, a lot of, and education qualifications imbibed in me a sense of discipline, a sense of exposure as well, because of the work that we are doing. But the actual learning over the years have come through the environment, the experiences, the people, and much more smarter people that we've come from. So those 4 years were great, but that to what the experiences have been the 20 years after that, or almost 17-18 years after that, have been much more in terms of learning. So yes, qualification and degrees are important, I won't deny that, but in today's world where AI is taking over a lot of things, and like I was saying, the knowledge has a very short shelf life, it's adaptability, it's kind of, agility to learn, and as they say, the 21st century literate is not the one who can read and write. He's the one who can unlearn, relearn, and adapt to things. And that's what is equally.
You conveyed it the right way. See, what you're saying is Alvin Toffler's statement. He says the illiterate of the Alvin Toffler, he was a great thinker. He said the illiterate of the 21st century are not those who can't read and write. The illiterate of the 21st century are those who can't learn, unlearn, and relearn. Fabulous statement. An illiterate now is those who can't learn, unlearn what they have learned, and relearn what should be learned. It's a fabulous, it perfectly fits in now. And then, in fact, there's another statement Albert Einstein made. He said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking that brought us to these problems. It is, and then Viktor Frankl made a beautiful statement in the Man's Search for Meaning. I think it's a book. He says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose. And in that choice, lies our growth and freedom. I repeat it. For me, it's one of the favorite quotations.
Fantastic. Yes.
Between stimulus and response, there is a space.
Yes.
In that space lies your power to choose, and with that power gives rise to growth and freedom. Freedom from agitations, growth to a better level of thinking. So, and at the same time, the great Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Buddhinasha pranashyati, says, with the loss of intellect, the individual perishes. And at the same time, in chapter 6, he says, knowledge is the antidote to ignorance. He emphasizes, he's not talking about pilgrimages or other aspects. He says knowledge is the antidote to ignorance. So that's the thing.
Yes.
But your aspect of the difference between intelligence and intellect.
Yes.
See, I will highlight this and then we will discuss the other aspect. See, my guru used to highlight this beautiful episode. It's there in his book as well. There was a lawsuit on forgery.
Okay.
And in the 1940s.
Yes.
And then there were one lawyer who was supposed to be a very intelligent lawyer. He studied in the best of law schools. And there's another lawyer who was supposed to be a great intellectual.
Okay.
He studied in his city.
Okay.
And people used to be enamored when these two lawyers are on the
courtroom battle.
Courtroom, because there's a lot of discussions. And there's a forgery case. And the so-called intelligent lawyer gave references left, right, center.
Yes.
Allahabad court, this court, that court, this section, kept on. And every time the judge was asking the other one, who's a very intellectual, he says, anything to add? He said, nothing. He was always quiet. And people are surprised. And at the end of it, the judge said, look here, what's your point? You have to say the lawyer who's supposed to be very intellectual.
Yes.
He said, my lord, there was a forgery case. So he said, can you place a paper in the middle of the light?
Yes.
He says, placed it. Can you see an elephant watermark? And to which the lawyer said, yes, I can see an elephant watermark. Then he said, the paper was printed in 1932. The document is dated 1930. So the document is prepared even before it's printed.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, other lawyer who's an intelligent lawyer kept on giving case references. And then all that. For hours he was arguing. This man, it's famous. It says, can you place the paper on the light? It's the elephant watermark. He gave all the references when the paper was printed and all that. Paper was printed in 1932. The document is dated 1930. I mean,
I'm saying enough to close the case. Yes.
I'm saying intellect and intelligence.
True.
It is where there is a sharp intellect, there's clarity. There is refined choices, and there is progress. And in fact, wherever there is intellect and clarity, you're talking statement of facts.
True.
Why to go around the bush? It says the other person is, he's got his assistants giving him references, kept on, so he thought, I give 10-15 references, what else I need? But an intellect, he understood when was this paper printed. It's clearly emphasized. Paper is printed in 1932. Document is dated 1930. How can you prepare a document even before it's printed? So this is intellect, and this, both are lawyers.
True.
But one person had the sharp intellect. First he gets into it, and then another person is, hey, get all the references, forgery, this bank, you get all the references. It doesn't work. I'm gonna give you some of the differences between intelligence and intellect.
Yes.
Intelligence wins arguments. Intellect builds relationships. You can have you are very intelligent, you can win arguments. Intellect wins relationship. Because intellect eventually understands a relationship is far more important than my ego.
You'll understand the consequence also. So that's what intellect.
Intelligence, why should I give way for this? The ego comes in. The mind and intelligence works. The ego comes in. So intelligence wins arguments.
Yes.
But you have lost a relationship. But intellect builds relationship. Next is intelligence improves talent. Intellect develops character. Intelligence improves talent. There's a statement. Talent takes you up to a point. It's character, it keeps you there.
True.
There are great sports people, but you'll find those who really succeeded are those with talent and character. So, I mean, again, what I'm saying is you need both.
Yes.
But not one at the cost of the other.
True. True.
So, next is intelligence creates opportunities. Intellect maximizes productivity. Your intelligence, as you mentioned, 4-5 professional, it creates opportunities. People want to meet you. Maybe they want to get they want to employ you. Creates opportunities. Intellect maximizes productivity. After that, you worked on yourself.
Exactly.
Next, intelligence creates money. Intellect keeps you rich.
Sustainability is coming from the
adaptability. In fact, you are able to keep your desires well within your income. Intellect. Intelligence is, I have been denied a nice sports car. Now that you mean, first go for a sports car and then an expensive watch.
True.
Sometimes some of the watches I can't even see the time.
True.
So complicated it looks, no? But it is very expensive. Intelligence creates money. Intellect keeps you rich. There are, if you come to the south of India, there could be multi-millionaires, but they'll be very simple.
Yes.
It's not that miserly. Their desires are well within their income. Another aspect, intelligence improves your standard of living. Intellect improves your quality of living. The intelligence will definitely improve your standard of living. You can travel first class.
True.
Intellect helps you to improve the quality of living. There is contentment, there is acceptance, there is compassion, there is togetherness. That's why again we need intelligence and intellect. Okay. Next, intellect works on self-contribution. Intelligence works on self-contribution.
Okay.
Intellect works on teamwork. Intellect raises your teamwork. Intelligence works on self-contribution. They have to keep highlighting.
Yes.
This is where the ego plays. I've done this. Intelligence works on your self-contribution. Intellect raises your teamwork.
Yes.
When you have a strong intellect, there's a lot of cooperative endeavor. There's team spirit. Even one of your colleagues are not doing well, you're there to help him out or raise their productivity. Next, intelligence formulates questions. Intellect creates surrender. Intelligence formulates questions. You can ask a lot of questions.
Okay.
And your intellectual curiosity can be handled. But intellect helps you to surrender your ego in areas of ignorance.
Interesting.
It is you'll find not many people surrender their ego in areas of ignorance. They may have a health issue, but they may go to the doctor and they say, why can't you prescribe this medicine? This will be better, right? I mean,
Yes.
it is you surrender in areas of ignorance. If you go to if there's a legal issue and you tell a lawyer, why don't you use this one rather than this? I mean, you can suggest.
Yes.
But that sense of surrender, only intellect can help you.
Is faith also under intellect itself?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, all the positive emotions, there's a combination of mind and intellect. I mean, it is, you see, if I am too intelligent, why should I say, no, I don't need to have faith, they'll say.
Yes.
Everything is on reason and logic. So,
True.
faith is something you don't know until you come to know what you believe in. So, faith is that. You need an intellect for that.
Yes.
You need an intellect and a calm mind for that.
Yes.
Otherwise, the faith will not. Your faith is very questionable faith.
Yes. Yes.
Next, intellect. Intelligence makes you emotional. Intellect brings acceptance. Intelligence. You find a lot of intelligent people very emotional. They can't take failure. They can't take setbacks. They become very emotional. They have emotions, but they become very emotional.
Yes.
Mere intelligence alone, but intellect brings about acceptance. Acceptance. There's a powerful acceptance. It's not a compromise. Intellect brings about acceptance. Many of us are in tough times.
Yes.
But intellect, there is acceptance. Things are being dealt properly.
Yes.
There's acceptance. Intelligence, it brings in emotions and become very emotional. And in an emotional state of mind, you can't make right choices. You panic. There is fear. There's insecurity. There is non-acceptance. With a strong intellect, there's acceptance.
Interesting.
Next is intelligence. Intelligence builds ego. Intellect brings in humility. I'm talking about the difference between intelligence and intellect. Intelligence builds ego. That's why it's who you're talking to.
Yes.
Or that kind of a because you know that you're very intelligent, you're successful, and that builds your ego.
Yes.
Intellect brings about humility. See, why do we always admire Abdul Kalam, Dr. Abdul Kalam? Because there was a lot of intelligence and a strong intellect.
Yes.
Therefore, there was humility. You'll always find people admired him not just for his intelligence, but for his humility.
Yes. Yes.
And he will always find and he's not like a MBA kind of. He was one of the greatest scientists.
Yes.
They say he paved the way for all those, the satellite network and all,
Yes.
where they're able to detect, and even this Operation Sindoor and all, they say the efficacy was over 95%. All they thank Abdul Kalam and few of his team. There's a lot of intelligence, but a lot of intellect as well. That's why I say intellect brings in humility, intelligence brings ego. And then intelligence facilitates understanding, intellect is a catalyst for transformation. I repeat, intelligence facilitates understanding. You're using your intellect to understand.
True.
But understanding is not experience. See, if you find a cigarette packet,
Yes.
half the cigarette packet is a warning. Sometimes that also people they don't read. Therefore, they put the image of a lung of
Very disturbing image.
disturbing images. You just take it and then intelligence facilitates understanding. Intellect is a catalyst for transformation. And then so then intelligence may betray you. In fact, intelligence will always betray you. Let me tell you, intelligence may betray you. Intellect always saves you. Meaning, intelligence works for a long period of time. It works well. It will help you a lot. But a very important stage, your intelligence will betray you. Meaning, at that stage, you will bring in your ego. Intelligence and ego. Let me see who's better than. You'll go for the kill. It's at that time. That's why intelligence will help you up to a point. At a very important stage, it betrays you because you bring in your ego, and that eventually destroys a person. But intellect always saves you. Even why is Nelson Mandela considered as a great leader?
Yes.
See, his statement when he was walking out of the prison, one of the famous statements, he says, as I walk out of the prison and walk into freedom, if I don't walk out of the anger and hatred towards those who imprison me,
Yes.
I'll still consider myself to be in prison.
Yes.
Intellect saved him. Otherwise, he became a leader and he could have
Yes, he could have.
done whatever he wanted to.
Yes, and I remember, I think one of the persons or the judge who had given him the sentence, he was on the first row during his swearing ceremony.
Correct.
That's there. So that's the kind of intellect, or that is there to forgive and forget.
Correct.
About those
Fascinating
kind of
quality.
Yes.
See, intelligence may betray you because at some point of time you will bring in helplessly will bring in the ego.
True.
Your intelligence, you know what all I have done,
Yes.
what all I have contributed. And it's one of the greatest saints, Sage Vyasa. He compiled the Vedas. He wrote the Mahabharata, but you will never find an image of Sage Vyasa anywhere.
Yes.
See, when I mentioned Lord Buddha, Swami Vivekananda,
Yes.
Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, all that you can relate with an image.
Yes.
When I say Vyasa,
With Vyas there is none. True.
he his contribution was the most profound contribution. There was no image, nothing. Even when you see the Mahabharata and all, one voice.
Yes.
You may say at that time they didn't have pen. See, if he was able to write all these things, you can't.
Yeah.
There's a portrait. He didn't even consider that as important. So, intellect will always save you.
Yes.
Intelligence shall betray you at the time. And finally, intelligence makes you get transfixed to the world through attachment,
Yes.
through dependency. Intellect makes you transcend the world. Intelligence keeps you transfixed to the world.
Wow.
There's
Yes.
possessiveness, there's attachment, there's dependency. That is intelligence. And you may argue, I have all this, I need to, I want to see my great granddaughter's wedding, then I am okay.
True.
Intelligence makes you get transfixed to the world. Intellect helps you to transcend the world. They say in meditation, the last aspect which leaves you is your intellect. It is like a river which is traveling all the path, merges with an ocean, once the river merges with the ocean, somebody asks, where was the river? It has, transcended itself and become one with the ocean. It has sacrificed its individual identity and gained the totality of the ocean. I'm saying, intellect helps you to transcend.
Yes.
Intelligence makes you transfixed to the certain things.
True.
You don't want to give up certain things.
True.
You can't let go. Why should I forgive that person? Give me one reason why I should forgive. You can continue the hatred for the rest of your life. I'm just saying, intellect comes in. See, Christ was crucified, nailed to the cross, but his words were, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. I mean, where is that? So if you have the intellect, they'll understand. Forgiveness is the, they say, is to set the prisoner free. Forgiveness is to set the prisoner free and to finally understand that the prisoner was none other than myself. You need an intellect for that.
True.
You need, if you have mere mind and intelligence, you will argue for what I should do, why should I forgive? Ask them to come and fall at my feet and seek my forgiveness, then I will forgive them.
True.
You can carry the hatred to your grave.
Yes.
So, these are the difference between
very rightly put across. And so, then the next question, if you ask me, comes across is, one is to develop intelligence or gain intelligence, there are many forms or institutions available where you can gain intelligence.
Correct.
But to gain intellect,
correct,
where do we firstly, what are the types of intellect, because around it as well, and where can we get better at it? Some of the things that you were saying, how you react, no school of thought teaches you all these things.
Correct.
That's the problem. I run an education institution, a group of it, and what we more focus on is developing critical thinking.
Correct.
But not on the intellect side. I think it's more on the other questioning side. Earlier, it was just memory-driven education, but now it's fortunately, transformed to other things. But I think intellect is still missing in the modern education. And that's more important than any other thing, because that's kind of taking hold of yourself.
Correct. See, what helped you now? See, we only are able to think the next few years, which is okay. But what about contentment? What about forgiveness? How are we going to develop it? So you're right. See, there are various types of intellect, and I thought I will just highlight it. Then we'll get into how to develop the intellect. It is broadly there are two types of intellect: gross intellect and subtle intellect. Okay. Gross, by definition, thinking focused on the world. That's a gross. Gross meaning you can see, you can feel it, you can experience it much easier. It is even though the air conditioner is on, we don't need to see the air conditioner. Gross intellect, you can experience it. That is a gross intellect. The second is subtle intellect, that the thinking focused on beyond the world, something beyond the world. It is that's the reason many of the scientists were very spiritual in nature over a period of time. He said, Einstein said, give me a point out, or he said, all my calculations are relative. Give me a point outside the universe, I'll give you the right calculations. And I think it was another Newton who mentioned, he says, what is my knowledge compared to my vast ignorance? Who says it? I think Einstein who said, what is my knowledge compared to a vast ignorance? A great thinker says that. It is, and there's also a statement, where science ends, spirituality begins. That's the reason, because some of the scientists were very spiritual in nature. Erwin Schrödinger, you would have heard of him, a great Vedantan. So, two intellects, two types of intellect, again, your faculty of thinking. You are using your thinking pertaining to the world, gross intellect. Using your thinking pertaining to beyond the world. Who am I? What am I constituted? Is there anything beyond the world? That is subtle intellect. Subtle by definition we can't see. It is gross by definition you can experience. In the gross intellect, There are different types of intellect. One is stagnant intellect.
Okay.
The potential of thinking is available, but they don't put in any effort. Potential is there. It's stagnant.
Yes.
The potential is there, but they don't put in effort. It's just, it is just lying unused.
Yes.
That is one stagnant. See, each one of us have different roles, and in some roles we could be, following a stagnant intellect. No effort at all. Potential is there to improve, but no effort. The next is followers intellect. A person follows a herd mentality. It is a crowd choices, we say.
Yes.
Why are you doing cyber security course? I mean, that's where they say maximum money.
Yes.
Or everyone, my friend did it, other did. They like a herd mentality.
Yes.
It is one thing which worked for me is I didn't want to be a part of the herd. I know what I didn't want to do, but I didn't know what I should do. But then I didn't want to be a part of the herd because it didn't inspire me.
Yes. That's also great clarity, what you don't want to do. That also, kind of eliminates most
Correct.
of the things.
But I guess that's, it made me to think.
Yes.
It is, so the herd mentality never suited me. Never suited me, nor I was enamored by it. Oh my God, So I liked what it provided, money or position, but I didn't like the process. The herd so the followers intellect is you become a victim of a herd mentality,
Yes.
a crowd choices. Next is in the gross intellect types, basic intellect. Basic choices are okay. Minimal use of the intellect. Basic choices are okay. Meaning you wake up, you brush your teeth,
Yes.
take a shower. Basic choices.
Yes.
You are not leaving it now. Why should I brush?
True.
I don't want to take a bath now.
True.
Basic choices are okay. You need a proper breakfast, or you have a work. You go to work. You do your best.
Yes.
The basic intellect. Next is a victim intellect, meaning the mind holds the intellect hostage and reasons in a way it wants to. Victim intellect. I am like this because of this person, this incident. They keep blaming everyone else. It is it's a victim intellect.
Yes.
Their thinking is there, but there is nothing constructive in it.
True.
The next one is indulgent intellect. They are victim of strong cravings. It is impulses. There was this statement, Ernest Hemingway made. I can resist anything except temptations. It's like indulgent intellect.
True.
Victim of their own temptations, their own impulses. And it's like the people justify what to do. Why you're having these substances or alcohol? What to do? It's easily available. They just blame everyone else for their indulgence. And then is a confused intellect. They can't decide. They are always in a dilemma.
Yes.
Should I do this or not? Should I do that or not? And there are some people, such people, some of them never get married. Should I get married to this person or not? Now they are 55. Still you are thinking.
True.
It's like that. Confused intellect. They are always in a dilemma. Always in a dilemma. Should we want to have a coffee or a green tea? That is always in a dilemma. Next is investigative intellect. This is where the real thinking starts. Thinking becomes slightly better. You're using your intellect in a better way. You give a direction to your thinking.
Yes.
This is the gross intellect.
Yes.
Now the subtle intellect. The scriptures highlight beautifully. It's Atma Vichara. Atma is the being, the reality. Vichara is the search. We are thinking. What in English we say, truth finder's intellect.
Yes.
There is a consistent effort. There is a directed discipline. There's a search then as to who am I? Is there life beyond this aspect? You are genuinely thinking, is there what is beyond the body, mind, intellect? It is a Atma Vichara. Vichara is your reflection, thinking.
Yes.
Next is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, meaning what in English, eternal seeker's intellect. Like you perform, that's a crux of Karma Yoga. You perform every action as an offering to the divine. Whatever you're, as an offering to the divine. That's the reason, even in the prayers, when you take a flower from the your plate, the puja plate, you take it, internalize it, and you offer. You don't chuck it.
Yes.
You're not doing any stomping there. Most people, take a flower, they keep chucking.
Yes.
You take a flower, internalize, and what you're offering is your own ego. No, so you gracefully you offer. You don't throw. So that's why Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, eternal seeker's intellect. You perform every action as an offering to the divine. That's it, in God's grace, they say, inshallah.
Yes.
God willing.
Yes.
Anything and everything as an offering to the divine. You'll find all our prayers, you offer to the divine first, then you have.
Yes.
So it's a Ishvara Arpana Buddhi. Whatever you're doing, it is that's a higher purpose.
Yes.
It could be a goal. You are attuned to the goal. The next is Prasada Buddhi. What we call as in English blissful intellect. You accept all the results and as sacred blessings.
Yes.
Whether pleasant or unpleasant. Prasada Buddhi. Prasada Buddhi means whatever the outcome is, it is his prasad.
Yes.
Things didn't work out well,
Yes.
his prasad.
Yes.
Things worked out extremely well, his prasad. See, there is no arrogation to yourself.
Yes.
You have worked on it,
Yes.
but you also understand so many factors are there. We are living in
External factors.
so many other factors are there. So many, it is, you don't arrogate your success
Yes.
or your failure. You don't know whether I'm a failure or I'm a great. You don't arrogate to yourself. It is whatever the outcome, his prasad. That prasada buddhi is, if things work out, you improve on the process. If a thing didn't work out, you rework your process and you are only working on process excellence. What outcome is a divine blessing. That in prasada buddhi, where anyone who has this kind of a buddhi, there is no failures at all.
True.
In fact, anyone has this buddhi, there is only success. Their success makes them more responsible.
Yes.
So many factors have gone in.
Exactly.
I have to be more responsible to myself and others.
True.
And then finally they say Sakshi Bhava. Sakshi Bhava means absolute objectivity. It says you are perfectly aligned with your conviction and conscience. Conviction is a strong thought.
Yes.
This is the right thing to do. Conscience is that little bird within us. Something that they say gut feeling. I had that gut feeling that this will work.
Yes.
You can't explain it, but you understand this can work.
Yes.
So these are the different kinds of intellect.
Yes.
As I mentioned, in a stagnant intellect, they have the potential, but they don't put in any effort. Followers intellect, you're putting in effort, but your choices are influenced by everyone else.
The mentality. Yes.
It is, and then basic intellect. Now only you started thinking. But you have stuck to your basic ones. You're not going beyond it. Next is victim intellect. You make yourself a victim for whatever you're going through. Because of them, you blame others. Then indulgent intellect. You are a victim of your own, your desires and cravings. You fall for it. Then confused intellect. They are thinking, but they can't come to a conclusion. This or that. It is, you are only thinking, like going around in circles.
Yeah.
It's what they call as overthinking. So, and then investigative intellect is where thinking becomes better. There is direction to your thinking. This is pertaining to the gross intellect. The subtle intellect is Atma Vichara, truth finder's intellect, where the search has started. Who am I? How should I contact the world? Could I be wrong?
Yes.
The truth finder's intellect, Atma Vichara. Then is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, eternal seeker's intellect. It's like you perform every action as an offering to the divine. Then prasada buddhi, whatever the outcome is, it is his prasad. And sakshi bhava is a absolute objectivity. You are aligned with your conviction and conscience. So that's why I say you observe yours and others' thoughts and emotions without being carried away by them. It is the sakshi bhava. Sakshi means witness.
Yes.
Sakshi bhava means a witness attitude. Whatever happens, you observe it as a witness. You don't get directly involved in it. These are the broad types of intellect, gross and subtle, and in the gross all these. Now the other question you had was how to develop the intellect.
Yes. So just on this point, when you're saying subtle intellect, is there like one is more important than the other of the four that you kind of mentioned?
In the subtle intellect, if you ask me, it starts with the Atma Vichara.
Yes.
The truth finder's intellect. That's, you can't, a person who's focused on the gross intellect has no interest in it. Atma Vichara. It is, there is no truth finders. For them, how are the markets going? What's happening on the glossy section of the media? There is no search for the truth. They just want to maximize their pleasure and indulgence. So Atma Vichara, and then Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, and it could be Prasada Buddhi before.
Yes.
Ishvara Arpana Buddhi can come later.
Okay.
Because Prasada Buddhi is you accept whatever happened as his blessing.
Yes.
And the Ishvara Arpana, or it is like you perform every action as a offering to the divine. So, your question is, what is the sequence like that?
Yeah. So I'm saying, is one more important than the other, or is there, within that the priority as well? Because when I think of it, one is to accept what has happened. You accept it at God's will, and like you rightly said, external factors are not in our control. We can give our best, but it's more difficult to say when you say, I forgot the name, how you put it across, but everything what you're doing is a, devotion to God. So I might be doing my business, I might be doing my daily rituals, whatever those might be, but then to have that intellect that this is part of my offering to God. And the last is when you said Sakshi Bhava, which is to be like an objective person. Even you're feeling angry, but you understand, you see, anger is coming. You take a step back within yourself itself to say, anger is coming. I'm letting it pass and not reacting to it. That's the intellect part which comes across.
Each one is important in a certain scenario. As I mentioned, certain aspects and emotion, that Sakshi Bhava is important.
Yes.
And Atma Vichara is important in certain aspects like, your reflection, contemplation. Prasada Buddhi becomes important when you're dealing with the results.
Yes.
And Ishvara Arpana Buddhi becomes important while performing it as an offering.
True.
There is no ego arrogation. I am doing it, no such thing. So each one has a importance and relevance at a certain point. While performing your actions, if there is Ishvara Arpana Buddhi, or before performing the action, Atma Vichara.
Yes.
And the Prasada Buddhi is after the action is performed. But Sakshi Bhava is again, whatever you are a witness to what has happened.
True.
So it's a very intelligent question to an intellectual search.
Very rightly put across. And sir, lastly, how do we develop the intellect part of it? Because that's where it's actually missing in the current world.
Correct. See the various avenues, Vinit. One is, we talk about the three traditional formats: Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. Shravan is to listen.
Okay.
Listening is different from hearing. Hearing is noise. Listening is, there's an intent to absorb. Listening, Shravana. That takes care of one aspect, which is a lack of information.
Yes.
When you listen, you get informed. The next stage is Manana, again Sanskrit word meaning contemplation. When you contemplate on it, the second level of ignorance is removed, which is a lack of understanding. Shravana, the lack of information is dealt with
Yes.
through listening, active, acute listening.
Yes.
The second is manana, meaning contemplation. It helps you to remove the lack of understanding.
Yes.
You become well informed in the subject. Nididhyasana again is literal translations, meditation. But here now you are, what you heard, what you have understood, you are implementing it. Nididhyasana. As a result, it becomes a part of your life. Part of you. It's a part of your DNA. Almost. Because it's no more understanding. It is actually a becoming.
Yes.
And so this is one way. Shravana, Manana, Nitidhyasana. This is one way. The second avenue, I'm giving you various avenues so that the second one is, as we mentioned, knowledge. You got to take in knowledge. Maybe it is a knowledge removes ignorance. Any aspect. It is to develop the intellect, you got to gain knowledge. Knowledge of, see, it is, here we talk about, what is your mind, what is your intellect. You got to become aware of all these aspects. And you decide what you have to, the knowledge of what equipment I need to improve on.
Yes.
The second is, you can learn through others' experience. You see people are very intellectual and intelligent, and you admire that combination, and others' experience. And they say, hey, I learnt it only when I was 50. You can learn it when you are 35. You learn through others' experience. And the last one is learn through your own experience. Last one. You don't need to be, divorced 3 times to understand. I think I have to put in some effort.
True.
Maybe something wrong with me.
True.
So this is where the intellect comes in. So knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, or many self-help books are there. Vedanta treatise written by my guru, or the fall of human intellect. So many books are there. The Bhagavad. So knowledge, you gain knowledge firsthand. Second is through others' experience.
Yes.
Third is your own experience. And then, my guru used to say this often. He says, to develop your intellect, don't take anything for granted. When you take anything for granted, your thinking stops.
True.
It is. We are not saying you should you should rebel, not to be a rebel, but you don't take anything for granted and you question everything. Question, when I say question, meaning for you to improve your understanding. So question everything. Ask the right questions. So this is one way. Don't take, if you are taking anything for granted, that's where the issue happens. And then and then ask the right questions. Then another aspect is value systems, priorities, habits, daily schedules. The way to improve your intellect. It is high value systems. You'll find their intellect is also in the right direction. You will not find them go through the other aspects, negative aspects of life. It is high value systems. And then priorities. What is your priority? Do you put your mental health as a priority? Do you put your family as a priority? So all these things will eventually bring in the intellect, develop the intellect. And then, as I mentioned, habits, your daily habits and your schedules also highlights whether you're able to improve your intellect or not. And as I mentioned, if you're an eternal seeker, you will always learn. And the last few things, as I mentioned, not just buying the book, reading the book. Not just reading the book, contemplating on the book. Not just contemplating, but implementing in it your life. As a result, it's a part of you. See, what is the point in knowing all about forgiveness and struggle in that?
True.
Rather, you don't need to know.
True.
That's why they say some of these knowledges is like a gold on a donkey's back. The donkey doesn't know the value of it.
True.
It is. That's why I said, it is. Be a eternal seeker. Read scriptures, and that's why I say it's a must. Where do you get the highest knowledge? These great masters have given. And then another aspect, try and wake up early. Closest to, you should rise before the sun rises.
Okay.
That's the reason in the Indian tradition it's called Brahma Muhurtam. In the most auspicious time. It is, if you gift yourself more auspicious time, slowly you're developing your intellect. And then there are other one, they say sattva, three qualities of thoughts, sattva, rajas and tamas. Sattvic thoughts are the thoughts, where it helps you to be more wise. It helps you to make the right choices.
Yes.
Sattva manifests between 4 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Okay.
Rajas is a time where once the sun rises, all activity starts.
Yes. Your daily activities will get
You have your two kids,
True.
and before they go to school, one of them is the socks ready. Uniform has to be ironed.
True.
It is.
The bus is coming.
Bus is coming. Another 5 minutes. Yesterday I took him to the bus. Now today is your turn. All that I'm saying is, Rajas is where 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. where all activities happens. Running, hurrying, worrying, wishing all the time. Then Tamas is 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. All indulgences starts. All indulgences start. So this is the individual's thought process. Sattva 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Rajas 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tamas 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. So the 24 hours, the quality of thought cycles have been highlighted. So if you promote your sattva, control your rajas and reduce your tamas, you're developing your intellect.
I was going to say that. Yes.
Yeah,
that makes sense. What
yes,
you're saying,
it is finally a small point.
Yes.
He says a wise person will learn more from a foolish question than a foolish person can learn from a wise answer.
Wow.
A wise person can learn
Yes.
from a foolish question.
Yes.
Then, can learn much more from a foolish question than a foolish person learning from a wise answer.
True.
So, these are all some of these. That's why I know this is such an important topic, and I'm very happy that I'm dealing with you and in this topic, because you perfectly fit in a wonderful combination of extreme intelligence and the right proportion of intellect.
Sir,
Yes.
that's very kind of you to say that. But I think intellect is what you rightly said. Even intelligence in that matter is a developing, constantly evolving, developing thing. Just kind of learning from, like you said, others' experiences, because your own experience will take a lot of time and will cost you a lot as
Correct.
well, be it in terms of other resources. But this is what the actual learning is, and intellect is what you rightly said. It was fantastic having this session.
Thank you.
I'm sure we would have learned a lot from this. Then would the normal bookish knowledge would come across, and this is more practically important in day-to-day person life. To, like you rightly said, to change the quality of life, not just to kind of make money, but to remain rich. And rich is not just in terms of money. Rich is in terms of the quality of life that you're having, sustainability, in terms of
Adaptability.
The thought process. Yes, adaptability. Rightly.
So much is there. You're right.
Yes.
And I want to emphasize that you need intelligence.
Yes.
And you also need a strong intellect.
True.
It is when you have both, you have a beautiful life.
Yes.
Why to have everything and suffer?
True.
Have that potential of the intellect as well,
Yes.
which will. That's why there is a lot of avenues to grow your intelligence, but not much avenues to grow your intellect.
Yes.
That our sessions are focused more on the intellect.
part.
Intelligence they will take care.
Yes.
Intellect part is there. I'm telling you, it's a very different life.
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. Thanks a lot for inviting me for something like this, where I could also, ask questions and gain certain clarity, or having my doubts cleared. And thanks for having this. And I'm sure all the people who are watching this will also benefit from it.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
The next session is going to be more on you, on intelligence. I will work on it, and I'll let you know, because we want people to work on the intelligence in the right way.
Yes, absolutely.
We're not gonna see. You need intelligence. If you're sitting, if people are watching this podcast on a tablet or on a television, a lot of intelligence is there.
Yes.
It is my whole thing is, how do we maneuver intelligence in the right way?
True.
That's the next podcast with you.
True.
Look forward to that. Thank you so much, Vinit. So kind of you
No,
to be
pleasure,
a part
sir.
of it. Thank
Pleasure
you.
is all mine. Thanks a lot. Thank you.